Hey, what is up everybody, Blaze for here, and today for you guys another video for Persona 5X. Now inside today's video guys, we're going to be going ahead and doing our final impressions on the girl Yukari here, which is one of the few characters that at first I was a little bit shaky about. I was very excited about her release and all, but her kit kind of confused me at first, and I think it was just because I lacked a little bit of knowledge. And now that I know different things about her and actually how to run her, I definitely could say my opinion might have changed a lot on this character. So if you guys are interested on this, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. And as always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Really does help me out quite a lot. Y'all have still been going amazing here leading up to at least the release for P5X Global here. And I can't wait to continue doing at least content for you all. Now, as many of you guys do know, there's going to be a lot of things that's going to happen, especially in the next 2 days. We might see some more things either based on this or either some things based on P4, so surely do know that. Now that's not going to be related to this game, but I'm tempted to at least do a reaction video to maybe a little bit of a convention that may happen, and cross our fingers that something Persona is related in there as well. But now that we've gotten that extra little shenanigans out the way here, let's talk about Yukari a little bit. Now Yukari herself is a 3rd charge character. She's one of the few units that generally I kind of vibed with, mainly just because I was really excited to have another character that can charge ults, right? As a character like this, you really did want to charge these ults here, and seeing beforehand Cord was our only character, it was very exciting to see a character that could do something similar that was just Yukari. Now, this was an interesting side of things, seeing that of course Yukari herself not only is our 2nd character from the C's team here, but also was a healer. Now, we don't get too many healers in this game. In fact, we barely get most of them at all, because these guys really aren't too needed unless the fight is like long drawn out type fighting. You don't really see much of a use for healers in this game, and I expected this to be kind of the same way, but recently we've been getting some harder content and she actually makes herself very useful besides just her healing. So one of the things that we're going to go ahead and break down is her kit. Now, I've talked about it fairly a couple amount of times here. She's able to apply wind erosion, which is technically like a little bit of a debuff with a chance to 100% inflict damage on her first skill. And her whole deal is going to be putting on that debuff, having this way to actually deal this. And when she does this, she's able to actually deal some extra damage based on the wind erosions that are occurring. Now, that's mainly for at least her first skill, which is going to be one that you're going to actually invest in. Surprisingly enough, this character uses her whole kit, which you don't see too often. Quite often, we usually have a skill that's not used too much. We usually have a skill that's not used at all, but this character uses all of her entire kit. In fact, after I figured out how to utilize her, it's way simpler, but also weird than I thought beforehand. So in order to actually utilize her the correct way for a rotation, usually you want to go ahead and use the skill 1 to make sure you have that wind erosion on the enemy here and actually set up her all stacks. And then you immediately want to use the skill 2, getting that nice old damage decrease, which is absolutely amazing for your party, and while upping at least the main target's damage bonus and attack. And then of course you have the skill 3, that's going to be your main heal. And once you have all the wind whispers, which you're gaining throughout her entire kit, you'll be able to at least heal yourself, also get 3rd energy, and increase your attack. So the character itself did a little bit of everything. She has what you kind of like to see out of Cord, being that you of course can help out damage bonusing, the attack percentages, while also allowing you to charge C's members' 3rd skill. This was really nice to actually see. I really enjoyed this, seeing that it was actually something a little new while still bringing a little bit of something that we're all familiar with. After I got used to that, I mean, it was just game over from there. The character was really fun. She even has an assist skill that can actually dispel different status elements. So if we do need them, every now and again, this is going to be a character that you want to go ahead and pay attention to, though it is only for 1 turn, so surely use that properly. Now, a good part about her is based on how she is in the team. If she's actually present inside of this same team here, she's actually able to go ahead and boost your 3rd and highlight damage by 45%, which is really nice to actually have there. And then alongside of this here, she's actually able to increase your attack, increase your max HP overall based on her attack. So the more attack you got, the more max HP, up to 2,700 max HP you can really have per character. So it makes her really nice as a just support character, or at least a heal character that can allow you to deal some nice damage while also having that nice balance of health as well. She really keeps that sustainability that you really need to look for inside of a character pretty darn hard and nice for at least majority of the fights. Now, as I did look through her kit for at least a few days, none of these actually feel like are a must have, I guess you could say, type of dupe. Dupes are usually always an optional thing, and I really do like that about this game here. And one of the things that I can say about Yukari, although she does have some nice dupes, her dupes don't feel like you're forced to go for any of them. In fact, they're really nice just to see, or just to really just have there. But I really want to go for any of them unless I'm just going for the A1. The only reason why I say the A1 specifically is because it allows you to overflow said 3G energy if you do need to. It also gives you another restore amount of 3G energy at the beginning if ever you have the max stacks of Wind Whispers, which also increases your pin rate. So really, you're going to be helping out any character that needs pin while also helping out your 3G energy overflow to really help out more of your C's related teams. Other than that, I really didn't see a need to have anything else on this character. Of course, the higher the better, but it's nothing really mandatory, and I feel like her complete kit is at the A0. Now, going into at least my final impressions for at least her 5-star weapon, I have to say wholeheartedly, this weapon is not needed. It is very much so not needed at all. After using the 4-star weapon for quite some time, I kind of do prefer the 4-star weapon to some extent, but the only reason why I use the 5-star weapon is one, of course, damage dealt is really nice. The healing is also pretty darn decent, but hey, it increases my rating score overall, which is, even though it's still low, I will like to say, I still like to see that triple digit right there. So pretty nice. Allows me to be a little lazy on some of her stats. So I would like to say, hey, it's a nice weapon, but it's not really anything that's too special. In fact, for a lot of you guys, if you wanted to skip this weapon as her actual thing, you very well can. Unless they decide to buff this thing, there's really not a need to get it unless you're just being a collector at heart, or either if you just genuinely love Yukari to that standpoint. But all in all, final impression on the weapon, don't really need it. It's not really needed at all. Now, when it does come down to how she plays, as I did say, she has a very weird setup. Being at least her rotation is not really confusing, but it's something a little different. You use the skill 1, lead it into at least a 3G skill at the end, then you start spamming skill 2, skill 3, with another 3G, skill 2, skill 3, and 3G, and just keep rinsing and repeating. So at all times, you're always going to want to start off the match with the skill 1, getting what you needed here, spam skill 2, then do skill 3, and then keep doing these 2. But in between that time, always try to utilize your 3G skill. This is more or less going to help out the C's members, especially when you start to use them with her in the future. So surely do keep that in mind, and surely do try to at least notice that that's going to be something you want to focus on. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of an example of how she plays in game, or at least an example of how I would normally utilize her, I'm going to go ahead and do one of these little matches before we wrap up the video. So to start it off here, you really don't have to do much. Of course, I'm just going to do some small buffing here just from at least our our Navi, because hey, why not? We're going to complete this anyway, so why not go ahead and just do it? But with her, you immediately are charging your 3G skills. It's one of the few things that you're able to do with this character, and you do give off some different buffs that are revolving her. So you always want to start off with a skill 1, at least getting up what she does need here, being her little wind stacks, or at least all the stacks that she does have at the bottom of the screen. Now, she has some nice animations, which are really cool to see, of course, as always with all the animations inside of this game here, but we're really just going to try to pay attention to as much of whatever she can really do here. As I did say, she does help out our highlights as well, but the main person that she's helping is anyone in a C's position. So when we get Akihiko, or we get more parts of at least the C's little options here, this is going to be where we're going to see a lot more people who will benefit from at least Yukari. Right now, it's just only Makoto, which isn't really a bad idea, but with this in mind, you guys are getting a ton of things out of this. Now, as I said, the first thing that you want to go ahead and do, other than this little basic buffing I'm doing here right now, just for funsies, is you want to go ahead and focus on spamming her 3G. With this in mind, if you pop it once, you end up getting yourself in a rotation of just 30 having, which is absolutely amazing. Now, with this in mind as well, seeing you used her 30, if you go ahead and look at your other partner's 30 bar, it obviously went up a decent bit. So we're gonna go ahead and use the skill 2, allowing us to decrease damage dealt to ourselves, while also allowing us to get some nice buffs as well. With this in mind, we built up a little bit of highlight bar, so we can also use our highlights just a little bit quicker than normal, but nothing too crazy here, while also going ahead and preparing for our man Makoto's damage. Now, this is going to be something that he's always going to be able to deal and actually be able to take advantage over as long as Yukari's in the team. You have the 2 stacks on her, so she'll heal up a decent bit in the long run, but of course, I don't think this boss is going to get to see that. Seeing that we were able to charge up this, we immediately have our actual highlight here, being able to do whatever we really want to do with this character, which is really nice to do. And just for it, you can only use 1 assist every round with her, so when it does come down to this as well, do keep in mind, you have to choose these very wisely. But there shouldn't be too many options, or at least too many times that you'll end up needing to use a status element clear. But with this in mind, we were able to immediately pop off the 30 as fast as possible and continue going with at least our character as Ben. So I would like to say with this character, she's really a fun unit. She's a unit that I'm enjoying thoroughly, and I can't wait to at least do more content with. But you guys let me know down below in the content, at least in the comment section. Are you guys enjoying the character? Do you want the character? Do you not want the character? Are you skipping? Are you pulling? I personally say she's a really good character to most likely pull for, especially if you're planning on running the Siege units, though she isn't a character that's mandatory. In all aspects, I feel like if you do want that extra buff, you very well will be using Yukari for the Siege units, but I mean, it's nothing too crazy. Now, without a doubt, I know some of you guys are waiting on at least my ranking with this, or at least my feel about this. I would say she's a middle S tier character, though if you wanted to argue, there are some people who could say her dupes could boost her a little bit higher. But I would like to say middle S tier for me. Who knows? Might go down later. But right now, that's where she resides. Till then, everybody, peace out.